Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving deep into a country that's become a real strategic powerhouse for business, right in the heart of Europe, Czechia. We're going to break down everything you need to know if you're thinking about getting started there.
So if you're an entrepreneur, an investor, maybe a company looking to expand, and you're asking yourself this exact question, well, you're in the right place. We're going to show you why Czechia could be the perfect answer you've been looking for.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the big picture, why Czechia is such a strategic hub. Then, we'll get practical with how to actually launch your business. After that, we'll cover the nitty-gritty of managing money and people. And finally, we'll look ahead to growth, incentives, and what the future holds. Let's get into it.
All right, let's dive right in with Section 1, Czechia, Europe's strategic hub. This is really all about the why, the core strengths that make this country so incredibly attractive for businesses.
So you might be wondering, where does Czechia actually stand on the world stage? Well, according to the World Bank, it's ranked 41st out of 190 countries for ease of doing business. Now, that's not just a number. It means it's actually easier to do business here than in a lot of other well-known European countries. It really signals that this is a place that's predictable, well-organized, and genuinely welcoming to entrepreneurs.
And what's behind that strong ranking? Well, here are the core strengths. First off, as a full member of the EU and the Schengen area, you get seamless access to that massive single market. The economy? Incredibly stable, with a solid AA rating from S&P. And the location? It's a strategic dream, sharing borders with giants like Germany and Austria. You throw in top-notch infrastructure and a really skilled, adaptable workforce, and, well, you've got a seriously powerful combination.
All right, so let's move into Section 2. Now we're shifting gears from the big picture why to the really practical how. This is all about the nitty-gritty steps to actually get your company up and running in Czechia.
When you're setting up, you'll pretty much face this choice right away. You've got the SRO, which is a limited liability company. Think of this as the go-to option for most small and medium-sized businesses. Why? Because it's just simpler with less paperwork. Then you have the AS, the joint stock company. This one's for the bigger players, the projects that need to pull in serious capital and maybe even get listed on the stock exchange.
So let's say you go with the SRO. The great news is the process is refreshingly simple. It really boils down to just 4 key steps. First, you get your founding documents notarized. Second, you secure a business address. You got to have proof of that. Third, you pop open a bank account to deposit your capital. And finally, you file your application with the commercial register. That's it. It's a super clear path that usually only takes a few weeks to complete.
And now for the part that honestly makes everyone do a double take. The minimum share capital you need to start your company, get this, it's just 1 Czech koruna. 1. That is literally less than 5 cents. It's completely symbolic. This tiny detail makes Czechia one of the absolute easiest, lowest risk places in all of Europe to just get started.
All right, so your company is officially registered. Congrats! But now the real work begins, right? It's time to actually run the thing. So let's get into the next section, the day-to-day realities of managing money and people under Czech rules.
A clear tax system is absolutely crucial, so let's look at the key rates for 2025. Your corporate income tax is set at a very competitive 21%. The standard VAT, or value-added tax, is also 21%, and then there's a single reduced rate of 12% that applies to essentials, things like food and medical supplies. It's a pretty clean, straightforward system, which is exactly what you want as a business owner.
Now, when you start hiring people, you absolutely have to understand the social contributions. So here's the key number for you, the employer. You'll be contributing 33.8% of an employee's gross salary to cover their Social Security and health insurance. For their part, the employee contributes 11.6%. Getting this split right is just essential for accurately figuring out your real labor costs.
And it's not just about the money, right? Here are the other essentials for hiring. The work week is a standard 40 hours. Every single employee gets a minimum of 4 weeks of paid vacation. You get a probation period of up to 3 months or 6 for managers, which gives both you and the new hire some nice flexibility. Oh, and this is a big one for your international team. Non-EU citizens need something called an employee card, which very conveniently bundles their work and residence permits into a single document. Super helpful.
Okay, so you're set up, you're operational, things are moving. Now let's look to the future. In our final section, we're talking about what's next. We'll look at the big growth sectors, the government support that's there to help you innovate, and of course, the great quality of life that makes it all worthwhile.
So where should you be looking for the biggest opportunities? Well, you're really looking at the heart of the Czech economy here. It's got this incredible industrial backbone in engineering and cars, but it's also become a total powerhouse in modern services. The IT sector is absolutely booming, and it's fast getting a reputation as a major hub for logistics and business support services.
Now, listen up, because if you're in tech or any kind of innovation, this is an absolute game changer. There's an R&D tax incentive that lets you deduct your qualifying research and development costs straight from your taxable income. And let me be clear, this isn't some small discount. It's a huge financial boost that basically rewards companies for innovating. It's no wonder Czechia is becoming a magnet for R&D.
You know, as we start to wrap up, I think this quote really hits the nail on the head. Because at the end of the day, business isn't just about spreadsheets and strategy. It's about people. And that's something that fits the Czech business culture well. It's professional for sure, but there's a real value placed on building those solid long-term relationships.
So let's pull this all together. What is the Czech advantage, really? Well, you get a super stable, pro-business hub right in the middle of Europe. The setup is unbelievably simple and cheap. The tax and labor rules are clear and competitive. You've got access to a fantastic, skilled workforce. And on top of all that, there's real government support for innovation. It's just a really powerful and complete package.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? When you look at the whole picture, the strategic location, the incredibly low barriers to entry, the strong support for growth, it's clear that Czechia offers a pretty unique opportunity. So the only real question left is, are you ready to build your European success story there?